ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदः क्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 19. Read.
नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति।
In 13th chapter, it was pointed out that Purusha, Jiva, the individual entity, abides in Prakriti means Prakriti Karya, Prakriti Maya, Trigunatmika, its effect, the body, etc. And the cause of that Jiva for transmigration is Karanam Gunasangaha Asya. Gunasanga, identification of the gunas in terms of the embodiment and also Sukha, Dukkha, etc. There, what are these gunas, etc. was not told. In this chapter, the nature of gunas elaborated. Now, how by jnana, how by knowing one's swarupa, free from all gunas, free from all gunakaryas, thereby how one can gain moksha. Means how jnana gives moksha is being pointed out. Yada, when drashta, take this anvaya, yada drashta gunebhyaha anyam kartaram na anupashyati. Gunebhyascha param, add atmanam veti saha madbhavam, saha, add tada, because yada is there. Saha, add tada, madbhavam adhigacchati, adhigacchati. When drashta. Here drashta is the vidwan. Vidwan, not in the sense of a scholar, but jnani, one who is aware of one's sarupa, free from adhyastha nama rupatmaka prapancha. One who is aware of one's real nature, which is Chaitanya, and Chaitanya alone, to the exclusion of entire anatma. That jnani, when he sees, when he directly knows what is it, that his swarupa is gunebhya anyam kartaram anupashyati, na anupashyati. See, in life, many things are done. Many things are experienced. Actually, experience is what? 24/7. Doing, kartrutva, bhokrutva. Doing and experiencing joys and sorrows is always there. But left to ourselves, we take that I do. And with that I identify the body. Bodies are made up of three gunas. And we reap the harvest of sukha, dukkha. They are also the effect of three gunas, sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. But our real nature is Chaitanya, free from all these. And yet, not knowing this fact, we mistake the body, etc., the product of gunas, prakriti, as I, and we mistake sukha dukkha as our intrinsic features. As a result of this error, we get subjected to janma marana, transmigration. Now here is a jnani, vidwan. He knows I do not do anything. Which I, the real I, he is aware of Chaitanya and Chaitanya alone, to the total exclusion of entire embodiment. Whether gross body level or subtle body level or ignorance causal body level. Free from that, the pure Chaitanya alone is me. How we could know that? By Atma Anatma Viveka. And in that Antakarana, which is totally withdrawn from the Bahya Vishayas, is Antarmukha, what happens? The Atma in its true nature gets reflected. The Shruti, Upanishads come and tell, Pramana comes and tells, this is your Swarupa. As told in the Shastra, is the one, he drashta. He knows his Swarupa, and at the same time he knows that I don't do anything. Who do all these things? Gunebhya anyam kartaram nanupashyati. He doesn't see any entity other than the gunas who do it. And gunebhya means what? The gunas which have got transformed or modified in the form of sharira, indriyas, mana, buddhi. We know our physical body is made of pancha mahabhutas. Pancha mahabhutas are made up of three gunas. Indriyas also, this word guna, the effect of gunas only. Mind, intellect also gunas only. So therefore, These affect the karma. Maybe in my presence, but I don't do it. In the presence of electricity, all electrical gadgets do their respective function. Electricity simply is. It is not involved in all these functions. In its function, all these, in its presence, not function. In its presence, everything takes place. Likewise, the sentience in us, we have to say sentience in us for the time being, because we don't know that is our swarupa. We don't know that our real nature. Therefore, a compromise statement. Body is taken as I, and the Chaitanya sentient chit abiding in that is what? That is pointed out, and that is real I. That real I doesn't do anything. And whatever karmas, whatever bhoga experience that takes place are at the level of what? Body and the antakarana. So therefore, there is no karta, which includes bhokta also, other than gunas, means gunas modified and become like this, body, etc., indriyas, etc., mana, etc. Anupashyati. Anu means paschat, afterwards. Sees after means what? Sees in accordance with the Shastra after gaining the Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya. After gaining the Atma Vidya, Brahma. Anu. Like this. Rama gacchati. Rama goes. Lakshmana anugacchati. Lakshmana follows, goes behind him. Like that. This knowledge is what? That there is no karta, the doer of actions, and the one who experiences, other than these gunas, which is what? Seen or known after gaining Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya. And as a result of which, Gunebhyascha and Gunebhyascha Param Atmanam Vetti. He knows directly Atma, who is independent of gunas, free from gunas. Param. Param means exalted, superior in terms of independence, subtlety, and more pervasiveness. So, Param Atmanam Veti. How Veti? This Chaitanya, which is my Sarupa, itself is Paramatma. Itself is Brahma. See the truth. See the truth. So obvious, but to begin with, we experience the same thing about which you have experienced earlier. Because that mind is creating obstruction. The result, what happens? The Jagat appears to be real. The body appears to be real. And you think what I told you something that even say, see, just someone showed me a clipping video, this video clipping. See, sometimes what happens? People get carried away by the oratory, presentation, the way of presenting, etc. Say that this is what it is. belonging to a particular group. I would say, we can say cult also. See, this Shankaracharya is very highly exalted person because he is the incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. Highly knowledgeable, highly adorable. But he started Mayavada. He started what? Mayavada. To delude the people. And he says, why he started is a different issue. It is for smile, etc. And he insulted. In such and such Padma Purana or something, it is said that Vishnu approached Shiva and told, you spread Mayavada so that those people who are not fit also will be separated. This is what they say. The question comes, did Shankaracharya start the Mayavada? Maya, this is in the Upanishad itself. Prakritim tu Mayam tu Prakritim Vidyat Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. Shweta Shvatra Upanishad. Mantropanishad, it is not even Brahmana Upanishad, very authentic. Maya is Prakriti, Maya is Ishvara. And many other Upanishads we do find, but this is the prominent one. Only who Shankaracharya elaborated it. And again, what they mean by Mayavada means the Jagat is illusion, like a magic. How can this Jagat be illusion? And they have got a sarcastic stock, what do you say that? Taunt also. Yes. These people say that Jagat is what? Maya, illusion. But after when they become hungry, the food is real. Food is real. That's what they stock example. Number one, what exactly is Maya? Why it is used is not known to them. And what is meant by mithya or false also is not. They take mithya, false means should not be available for experience. That is what their concept is. This is where they fundamentally go wrong. An entity which is never available for experience is not called mithya. It is tucham. What is mithya? Truly is not there, but seemingly appears to be there in experience. That is mithya. This you don't know. That's one thing. And again, Maya or ignorance. Shvetashara is in there. Rishi started. What is the cause of this Jagat? The big deliberation was going on. They could not do that. Then they resorted to meditation with prayer to Ishvara. As if, oh Bhagavan, please guide us. Please tell us what it is. And in that meditation, they came to know that it is Maya Shakti, ignorance, that gives rise to this seeming appearance of Jagat. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. But it is not truly there. It can get ended, but so long as it operates, Jagat appears to be there. Now here, why this Maya is brought? Look, you ask all those people who care to probe into the cause of Jagat, beginning from scientists onwards, whether physicist or chemist or a biologist or even our karma theory people, those talk of Vedas and karmas, all these people, everyone has got a theory of creation to begin with, and quite plausible, quite given to reasoning. Means it appears to be true in the beginning. But you go on probing every one of them. They will go on explaining at 2-3 stages of your questioning. Afterwards, invariably, everyone will say, I don't know if he is honest enough. Further, they can't give. According to the theory, they explain up to 2-3 stages. Seems to be what sound. But further probed, there are no answer. Including what? Karma theory. Means what? I don't know is ignorance. That is the cause. And that ignorance itself is what? Is Maya, which truly is not there at all. The question is like this. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Avitatham, not subject to change. Jnanam. Jnanam. The pure knowledge principle, not the knowledge of an entity. The very basic knowledge principle. Anantam, endless, limitless, itself is Ananda Swarup. Because anything limited is sorrow. Limitless only can be Bhuma, limitless, Ananda. That Brahma. Now, for any creation, there needs a change. If Brahma alone is there, and if it were subject to change, of course, Jagat could have come. But this non-dual Brahma, which Upanishad declare, so Maya Tata Vidam Sarvam, even who Bhagavan Krishna declares, which is all-pervasive, which is Satya, non-changing, how without a change, Jagat came into existence? How did creation take place? Therefore, a power is brought. What is that? Maya Shakti, which is basically ignorance only. Because that it happened. And like magic, it appears to be. The thing is that this Maya Shakti truly doesn't exist. This video is made clear, but they don't, these people don't bother to inquire into that. Maya Shakti is only a postulate to solve the riddle. What riddle? Avikari Brahma. How it can be Savikari Jagat? Maya Shakti. And when you inquire, you find that this Maya itself is not there. It's a postulate like what you say, no? The role of a catalyst in chemical reaction. Two chemicals, they don't react, but they need something else which can make them react. And that is what is called as catalyst. And this catalyst takes part in the chemical reaction. And when the end product comes, it comes out of that. It is no more in the product. Like that, this Maya is only a supposition to explain the phenomena and make you discover your Swarupa free from Maya. That's why it said, don't bother about what this Maya is. By explanation given, get past this Maya. So that is why it is. This is not the place to go more in more detail. You refer to my Brahma Sutra Chatusutri book. Somewhere there I have discussed in detail based on Yoga Vasishta, that avidya, which applies to Maya also, is a postulate. Rama did point out a contradiction in Vasishta's teaching. Oh Bhagavan, at length you established avidya earlier, and now you are telling avidya is not there at all. How come it is possible? Answer is, Rama, when I established avidya, you were a jnani, ignorant person. Now you are no more ignorant person. You are aware of a Swarupa. There is no occasion for avidya to be there. These are called as prakriyas, methodologies to reveal our Swarupa, which cannot be directly pointed out like this. Your words are incapable of describing it. So we have to find a methodology by which it can be indicated. So the postulate of Maya or avidya is one of them. I've told you 100 times what Sureshwaracharya says in this context. He says, whatever methodology of revealing Atma Swarupa, so long as it has got the capacity to reveal you the Brahma Swarupa, Atma Swarupa, it is good. But mind you, the methodology by itself is basically wrong. Many defects can be pointed out. Yaya yaya bhavet pumsam vyutpatti pratyagatmani sasaive asyat sadvi sacha anavasthita. By whatsoever prakriya one is able to reveal Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, well, good one, but sadvi. But when taken to inquire in this thing, you'll find defect in that. No methodology of revealing Advaya Atma Swarupa is foolproof. But they are acceptable, they are good, so long as they have got the capacity to make you or make us discover what our Swarupa is. So there is no point in arguing like the Maya, Vada, etc., etc. They don't know. So in fact, I was telling this, these people, they are highly devoted to Krishna. If they had that Sharanagati to Krishna, they should be told, look, you accept Krishna as Jagadguru. Whether you and Krishna are one or separate, you know better or Krishna knows better. If at all they are real devotees to their core, they have to say Krishna. Then why don't you leave to Krishna? Are you not? Have you no Shraddha in his omniscience and omnipotence? Don't you know that he will certainly care for you, the devotee, and tell you the right thing? Why philosophize this? See, this is where it happens. So, that is the Swarupa is one free from this pure Chaitanya, for which we have to take these methodologies wherein this Prakriti Maya is brought. As I said, it's only a postulate, just as rope can never become the snake, and yet you are seeing a snake there. We bring in avidya, ignorance, power, but finally you have to discard it by seeing what it is. So, gunebhya param veti, Atma, who is independent of gunas, which are prakriti karyas, maya karyas, free from that. So, veti, that person, saha, madbhavam adhigacchati. He gains this. I brought this because such things are going on. Nowadays, no. WhatsApp University, not WhatsApp, even YouTube University. Anyone and everyone can write or telecast anything and everything. Who is going to verify correct or not? It is left to us. Many useful things will be available, but we should have Kshira Nira Nyaya, that capacity to distinguish between the water and the milk. Good things, certainly things. Getting carried away by eloquence, presentation, etc., be very careful, because I heard that talk, very young fellow, very powerful in his speech, etc., very smiling, etc., presented. So this Maya, Vada, etc., and their guru, in his book of saying, in the first paragraph of that book is his commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Abuses Shankaracharya. Abuses, which shows how much intolerance these people have. A true Advaiti will never criticize devotion, if true. If these fellows are cracked, then they're different. Really, one who knows what is Advaita Swarupa, he will never criticize bhakti. He will never criticize the notion of Dvaita. Bhagavan is the master, I am the servant. Or he will never criticize that idea of Bhagavan is the whole, I am the part, like Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita. Because he knows these people at their present level of progress can take to only this. They are not yet ripe enough to take to Advaya Swarup of Atma Brahma. But if they are sincere, in course of time, they will develop that disposition by which they can take to proper inquiry and discover the Advaita Swarupa. Also, Ishvara will come to their rescue if they are really sincere enough and show the ways and the means by which they can discover. So best thing is deliver yourself in the hands of Ishvara. Pray to him. Bhagwan, I don't know, I am more confused about all these things. Please guide me. If your prayer is sincere, rest assured, you will be guided. So don't get carried away by this Maya, Vada, etc., etc. Actually, this is a perennial, what is that? Discussion. Not only discussion, debate, and trying to put down the others. For example, such things like, what is that? There is whatever, see, some great master, I think Vyasaraya or someone, pointed out 100 defects in Advaita Vedanta, entitled Shata Dushani, 100 defects. Vedantis took the challenge and answered by what? Establishing the 100 defects pointed out as what? 100 plus points, Shata Bhushani ornaments. Establish that. You don't know what it is. This is what it is. Well, the drawback that are pointed out was shown that the ornamental thing as far as the Vedanta is concerned. Shata Bhushani. Again, in reply to such things, Madhusudan Saraswati has written what is called Advaita Siddhi. It's very highly Tarkika Nyaya Grantha, because he has to answer those Dvaitins or Vishtadvaiti who are making use of lot of reasoning. He has to answer in the language of reasoning on this. He has to have Advaita Siddhi, for which they had no answer. The disciple of Vyasaraya is a great devotee. You can't question that devotion. At the same time, he philosophized like this. He was sent to Advaita Madhusudan Saraswati as a disciple, as if he wants to learn from him. Who Madhusudan Saraswati was teaching Advaita Siddhi. And he joined, of course, he accepted the disciple. After the teaching is over, he presented a book dismissing entire Advaita Siddhi as a Guru Dakshina. Madhusudan said, I was aware of what you are doing. The reports were coming to me that you are doing this, but I didn't stop you. Anyway, you have given me this, but I have accepted you as my disciple. It doesn't look nice that a guru dismisses the disciple, but in course of time, someone will point out how what you have written is wrong. And it was his grand disciple. Disciple's disciple, grand disciple. Gauda Brahmananda, lock, stock, barrel, refuted what was written by this person. And this big battle is going on. What the problem with this Dvaitin and Vishnadvaita are intolerant. In the Gaudapada, Manduki Karika, the word comes Asahishnu. Intolerant people. Some, who Madhusudan is not an ordinary person. The great, they say, the extent of knowledge that Madhusudana, that's what only Goddess Saraswati knows. At that time, actually, for your information, Madhusudana Saraswati, Tulsidas, Surdas, and Mirabai, Akbar, and at South, Appaya Dikshita. They're all contemporaries. Once, I want to tell you about Appaya Dikshita. Great devotee of Shiva. At the same time, a great Vedanti. He has written many books, etc. But these Dvaitins were at loggerheads with him. He didn't do anything at all, but they were harassing him. In fact, he once exclaimed, "Oh Bhagavan, what wrong have I done to these people that they harass me? You are Dvaitis, okay, I am in my own ways." Their hatred went to such an extent. These Dvaitins, some of them, they were decided to finish Appaya Dikshita, murder him. And they came to know that Appaya Dikshita is going somewhere. Those days, not like transport like nowadays, through jungles and all this you have to go. And so a group of these people started to meet him in the way and finish him. Appaya Dikshita doesn't know anything at all. But it happened halfway. A fierce storm came with lightning, and in the striking of lightning, few of these people died. They scared and ran away. Think of it. He's a devotee of his own Islam. He's in his own way. He knows what his Swarupa is, what wrong he has done. Intolerance. If you come across such thing, another thing, this interpolations. They say it is like this, Padma Purana, it said like this. This is something is happening even between the Shaivites and Vaishnavites. In Shiva Purana, something against Vishnu they put. In Vishnu Purana, something against Shiva they put. Where Shiva and Vishnu are what? They worship each other. So be careful about such quoting from Purana, etc. These are all interpolations. Because olden days, the manuscripts were being copied. Some people slowly inserted what they want to say us, or get carried away by this. Fine. That person who knows no one else other than gunas can do and or experience. Experience means Chaitanya is necessary, but the features are because of gunas. Sukha dukkha are because of the actual experience is because of Chaitanya, that's fine. Saha madbhavam adhigacchati. Adhigacchati prapnoti. Means what? He discovers oneself to be nothing but Paramatma Swarupa Chaitanya alone. The gunas and its karyas in terms of embodiment, Nama Rupatmaka Jagat, Sukha Dukkha Anubhava are out of range of his cognition. All that remains is Anadhyasta Chaitanya, on which Adhyasta Nama Rupa Prapancha is not there. That Chaitanya alone remains. That is what gaining oneself. Madbhavam adhigacchati. I had to tell you all this because you may come across this and you may get doubt. Are They said like Mayavad, etc., etc. And the present is such a way as if the authoritativeness. So you should be careful about such things. These things are going on. Like nowadays, no, in politics, etc., misquoting some and creating a Allah Gullah, like that. Take Bhasya, Nanyam Karya Karana Vishayakara Parinate. Read.
नान्यं कार्यकरणविषयाकारपरिणतेभ्यः गुणेभ्यः कर्तारम् अन्यं यदा द्रष्टा विद्वान् सन् न अनुपश्यति.
When Yada Anyam, something else. What is the Anyam? Karya Karana Vishayakara Parinatebhya Gunebhya. Something other than the gunas which are manifest in terms of what? That, see, in the Mula verse, Gunebhya is there. That Gunebhya is explained now. That gunas in terms of Karya, physical body, Karana, Indriya, including the mind, etc. Vishayakara, the form Vishaya, sense of it. Again, Sukha Dukha, all this comes there. Parinatebhya Gunebhya Anyam Kartaram Nanupashyati. Who drashta? With the drashta, Vidwan, Jnani son. Having become Jnani, one who sees or knows that anything other than this Karya Gunas, transport in the form of Karya Karana Vishaya, do the Karta, Nanupashyati, no sees, Anu, as we have seen, in accord the Shastra, having got the Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya. And who does all these things? Continue, Guna eva.
गुणा एव सर्वावस्थाः सर्वकर्मणां कर्तार इति एवं पश्यति.
These are the who do this thing. Actually, they are because of what? Guna eva. Again, what are gunas? The three gunas modified or to get transferred into Karya Karana. What was told as Karya Karana Vishayakara Parinata. Those gunas only. They only Sarvavasthaha, in all states, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and even in this, different varieties of states. So, Sarvastha. Sarva Karmana, of all karmas, whether it is physical karma action, oral action, or mental action. Kartaraha, they are the doers. In the sense, you may say, they are inert in nature, how they do it? Yes, true. But in the presence of Chaitanya, they borrow the Chaitanya and appear as though the doers of all this. Iti eva evam pashyati. He knows that way. Such a person knows the Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, free from this, what is that? Gunas, that is Paramatma Swarupa. Continue, Gunebhyascha.
गुणेभ्यश्च परम गुण व्यापार साक्षिभूतं वेत्ति मद्भावं मम भावं सः द्रष्टा अधिगच्छति.
Gunebhya param veti. What is the Gunebhya? Guna vyapara sakshi bhutam. One who is the sakshi, illuminator one who makes you aware of the functions of gunas. Again, keep in mind, what is the guna here? Karya, Karana, Sanghata, and all those things. Sukha, Dukkha, etc. Sakshi Bhutam Atma. You see, a common sense will tell you the Chaitanya which makes you aware of the body, Sukha, Dukkha, etc., has to be distinct from that. The sun who illumines the world has to be distinct from the world. The world cannot be the part and parcel of this. Likewise, the Jagat, which is made known, illuminated by Chaitanya, cannot be having these as its intrinsic feature. They are distinct from that. What is called as Drik Drishya Viveka. Sakshi Saksha Viveka. Common sense. And that is one in all. When you say Jiveshwara Aikya, this is where Dvaitis commit a blunder. They think that what? Vedanta says, the Dvaitis, Advaitis says that Jiva and Ishvara are one as they are. No. As they are in the Upadhis, Jiveshwara Bheda is Vyavahara Bheda. Everyone knows. But the true I in Jiva, real nature of Jiva, the true I in Ishvara, real nature of Ishvara, is one and the same Chaitanya Tattva. That is what we say, Nirupadhika Aikya. Sopadhika, we also don't believe. It's all because of preconceived notions, which can be seen, or we can settle this dispute from a statement of none other than Hanuman. After coronation, one afternoon, Rama had leisure. He said, Hanuman, what do you think of me? You know what Hanuman said? Deha bhavena tava dasoham. Jiva bhavena tvadaushakaha. Atma bhavena tvamevaham. Iti me nishyata matihi. Iti me nishyata matihi. This is my firm permission. Deha bhavena tava dasoham. If you are Bhagavan, the master, and I am the body, then I am your servant. If I take myself the body, you are the master, I am the servant. Jiva bhavena tvadaushaka. If I take that jiva, that's the spark of Chaitanya in me as I, you are the whole Parabrahma Swarupa, Ananta Chaitanya Swarupa. I'm a part, confined in this like that pot space with respect to the total space. But free from this upadhi, your upadhi and my upadhi, Atma Bhavena, if I know for certain that I am the Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, Tvam eva aham. You and I are one and the same. This is my purpose. Can there be a greater devotee than Hanuman? No. See, this is easy. You can reconcile all this. Depending on the level of the development of the seeker, these are the steps given. As Swami Vivekananda says, we travel from truth to truth, but never from untruth to truth. Dvaita are true at their level. Vishishta Dvaita is true at their level. Advaita is the final truth, which cannot be questioned. That's why true Advaiti has no all these disputes. These others have got because they are not able to know what it is, at the same time intolerance. This is not good for a mumukshu. They have to intensify their devotion. And if such incidences or occasions are there where they are not able to take decision, better surrender to Ishvara and pray for guidance. No doubt Bhagwan has said, Desham aham samudarta mrityu samsara sagara. Who are not capable of rescuing themselves. Whereas those are aware, lesho dhikataraste sam avyakta saktasi. Arjuna asked in second 12th chapter whether Saguna Bhakti is superior or Nirguna this thing. Krishna didn't give direct reply. Because Jnani to Atma eva matam. Bhagavan has said, Jnani is my Swarupa. And if he says, Bhakta is Shrestha, what will happen? Bhakta is Shrestha, superior to who? Bhagavan. If that Bhakta devotee is true to the salt, will he tolerate this? Can he ever take himself as superior to Bhagavan? No, it's not possible. So therefore, see, who bhakti also is difficult, but Nirguna Brahma Jnana more difficult because the first casualty of Nirguna Brahma Jnana is that Deha Tadatmya. Very difficult to get rid of. Whereas bhakti presupposes identity in the body. And he proceeds. From that standpoint, advantage is there. But that is not the ultimate truth. It is like you know, through carriage, through bogies. A railway bogie reaches a junction and the railway department what that removes from that and attaches to the next train which goes to the final destination. Like that. So bhakti is like a through bogie. It is Ishvara who attaches to the final means of gaining the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. This is what told by Yoga Kshema Mahamya. I will take care of their all your requirement to gain this knowledge. Not that the Bal Bachche ka I will take care, not to. Okay, that also he takes care. He is very great, kind. But what he meant was, if a mumukshu is a sincere one, all that he needs in terms of the sadhanas until he reaches this and discovers me to be nothing but he only, I will take care of. So that is how read Gune Bhasya Param. Yes. Gune Bhasya Param Guna Sakshi Guna Vyapara Sakshi Bhutam. Param means Anyam, Vetiriktam. One who is the Sakshi, the eliminator of all functions and modifications of gunas. Who is that Atma only? Veti. Mosau Sakshat Karoti. That person. Mad Bhavam. See here. Mad Bhavam means Mama Bhavam. My Swarupa means what? Brahmatmatvam. That Atma, I is nothing but Brahma. Mama Bhava, Brahmatma Bhava, Moksha, Kaivalya. Saha, that Drashta, Vidwan, Jnani, Adhigachati, Prapnoti. So this is what, who says Krishna. Suppose if it were not so, and if you say that, no, he goes to Vaikuntha, and then he becomes very close to Vishnu, in the Sarupya, looks like Vishnu only. That is not that. You know that what Ramana Maharshi once told. A great Vaishnava went to Ramana Maharshi to find out what is his stand as far as bhakti is concerned. He said, I have done all these sadhanas, all 108 pilgrim centers I have visited. Ramana Maharshi appreciated. Very good thing. In fact, Mahatma, will I be able to go to Vaikuntha? Why not? Having such thing, you are certainly. If I go to Vaikuntha, will I be able to see Vishnu? Certainly, you'll be able to see. Then, will Vishnu talk to me? Why should he not talk? Because you're such a great devotee. But then what will he talk? He will tell you, find out who you are. Find out who you are. All chakkar maar ke aaya, finally what? Find out who you are. You are in reality nothing but me only. So, is the only steps. So that is there. So if these things should not be philosophized. Bhakti should be at the level of bhakti. You deliver yourself in the hands of Bhagavan. He will take care of. He knows better than you. He knows about you better than you know yourself. Okay? So therefore, he gains me only. This is how, having crossed beyond the limits of gunas, one gets free from this Janma Marana Rupa Samsara. Bhagavan is going to conclude. Then Arjuna got an occasion to ask, what is the description of a person who has Atita crossed over these gunas? Gunatitaha. That will be described. Yes.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ।